Look up at the sky tonight. What do you see? Stars, the moon, the occasional blinking light of a passing plane. We know what belongs there. We have maps for the heavens. But imagine for a moment, it is November of 1896. You are standing on the main street of a small California town. The air smells of wood smoke and horse manure. The only light comes from the flickering gas lamps and the warm glow of parlor windows. You glance up, and your world stops. Because there, silent and immense, moving against the wind, is a brilliant torpedo-shaped light. It has no wings, it makes no sound, and according to every scientific authority in the world, it cannot possibly exist. This is not the beginning of a fantasy. This is documented history. And the things seen in the skies of America in 1896 and 1897 would spark a mystery so profound, so bizarre, that its echoes would never truly fade. To understand the shock of the phantom airship, you must first understand the America it visited. This is the Gilded Age, a nation of stark contrasts. In the cities, you have electric light and telephones, but in the vast American heartland, life is still largely measured by the rhythm of the sun and the strength of a plow horse. The frontier has only officially been closed for 6 years. The world still feels vast, uncharted, and ripe with possibility. And into this world of steam and soil, a ghost appears. Our story begins, as so many strange tales do, in California, Sacramento, November 17th, 1896. Hundreds of people, bankers, housewives, policemen, farmers, all stop in their tracks. They point to the sky. A bright light attached to a dark, elongated form is seen moving slowly overhead. It is described as a cigar-shaped body, at least 100 feet long, with a brilliant bluish-white light at the front and a red light at the rear. The Sacramento Bee and the San Francisco Call pounce on the story. The accounts are not from hysterical souls, but from respected citizens. They speak of a craft moving with purpose, with intelligence, against the prevailing wind. But this is just the opening act. 4 days later, on November 22nd, the airship visits San Francisco. It is seen by thousands this time. It hovers over the cliff house. It performs maneuvers that baffle the mind, stopping, starting, changing direction with an agility that defies any known balloon. Witnesses report hearing voices from above, and even seeing shadowy figures moving about on a lighted deck. The newspapers are now in a frenzy. Is it a secret invention? A new kind of dirigible? The public desperately wants it to be human, a triumph of ingenuity. And then, the pilots begin to speak. The airship doesn't stay in California. It begins a slow, deliberate journey east, across the Rockies, over the Great Plains. And as it travels, the stories evolve from mere sightings to encounters, close encounters. In one Nebraska town, a farmer claims he was approached by a tall, handsome man with a long, dark beard. The man, standing beside his grounded, mysterious craft, asked for a bucket of water. He spoke perfect English, but with a strange, unplaceable accent. He told the farmer his name was Mr. Dell, and that he and his crew were testing a new aerial motor. He was polite, eccentric, and vanished into the night as silently as he came. In Kansas, the story grows stranger. A group of railroad workers swear they met the airship's pilot, who called himself Wilson. He was not alone. With him was a beautiful woman and a second man who spoke no English, chattering in an unknown melodic language. They claimed to be from a secret society of inventors based in upstate New York. They offered fantastical details. The ship was made of a material lighter than aluminum, stronger than steel, and was powered by compressed air or electromagnetic forces. They handed out pamphlets in some accounts explaining their mission. Pamphlets that, of course, were never produced as evidence. These pilots are a peculiar bunch. They are often described as well-dressed, sometimes in what appears to be a naval uniform. They are overwhelmingly polite, calm, and oddly casual about their world-shattering technology. They are in essence the perfect American eccentric inventor, a trope the public could understand, but the details are always just off. The materials they describe are impossible. Their origins are vague: a secret club in New York, a hidden colony in Texas, a private venture funded by a mysterious millionaire. As the wave of sightings sweeps into the Midwest in the spring of 1897, the stories take a darker, more sinister turn. The airship is no longer just a marvel, it becomes an omen. In Iowa, a witness claims the craft shone a blinding searchlight down onto his field, illuminating the ground like daylight before speeding away. In Missouri, a farmer named John Barclay tells a harrowing tale. He was awakened by a strange humming. Peering from his window, he saw a dark, fish-shaped vessel settled in his cornfield. Figures moved around it, collecting samples of his soil and his well water. When he shouted, a light swept over him and he was frozen, paralyzed by a feeling of immense dread. The figures boarded their craft, which rose with a soft roar, leaving behind only crushed stalks and a lingering sulfurous smell. Then, on April 19, 1897, the story explodes in the small town of Aurora, Texas. The report, filed in the Dallas Morning News by a respected Signal Service officer named S.E. Hayden, is chilling. It states that early in the morning, a low-flying airship, moving at a great speed, clipped the windmill of a local judge, Judge Proctor, and crashed into his yard. The explosion was tremendous. The wreckage was not of this world. The pilot, the only occupant, was mangled beyond recognition. But he was not human. The report describes him as a Martian. The townsfolk, acting with a bizarre mix of fear and reverence, gave the being a Christian burial in the local cemetery. The Aurora incident is the crescendo, the point where the phantom airship narrative fractures. Was it a hoax? A misidentified meteor? A tall tale spun to put a dying town on the map? To this day, the grave in Aurora, marked by a small weathered stone, is a place of pilgrimage for those who believe. The official story is that it was a fabrication, but the sheer audacity of it, the specific, grotesque details, lodged it permanently in the American psyche. The airship was no longer just a secret invention. It had become something else. So what were they? The newspapers of the day were filled with theories. The most popular was that of a secret inventor. The world was obsessed with flight. Names like Edison and Bell were synonymous with genius. Could one of them, or a rival, have cracked the code? Perhaps it was the work of a reclusive heir, a new Verne or Cavorite, testing his creation in the wide open spaces of the West. But the secret inventor theory has holes you could fly an airship through. The technology described, the silent hovering, the immense speeds, the ability to travel thousands of miles without refueling, was centuries ahead of the Wright Brothers' flimsy biplane, which was still 7 years in the future. The materials were fantasy, and the pilots, for all their charm, were phantoms. They left no blueprints, no patents, no verifiable identities. Another theory, whispered in the pages of more esoteric journals, pointed to a foreign power. Was it German spies, testing a new Zeppelin design on the unsuspecting Americans? Or perhaps the Japanese, who were rapidly modernizing their military? But this too fails. No nation on Earth possessed such technology, and if they had, why squander the strategic advantage by joyriding over Sacramento and buzzing farmers in Kansas? Which leads us to the final, most unsettling possibility, the one that lurks in the shadow of the Aurora story. The possibility that the airships were never of this Earth to begin with, that the eccentric pilots were a mask, a story woven by a far more advanced intelligence to make its presence palatable to a 19th century mind. The polite man asking for a bucket of water is far less terrifying than the silent, unknowable thing that might actually be in the cockpit. The stories of secret societies and electromagnetic motors were a narrative the people of 1897 could digest. It was a framework built from the culture of the time, from the dime novels about Tom Edison Jr., from the popular science magazines, from the belief in manifest destiny and human progress. The airship wave ended as abruptly as it began. By the summer of 1897, the sightings ceased. The phantom pilots vanished. The newspapers moved on to the next sensation. But the mystery was seared into the folklore of the nation. It was the first great American UFO wave, a template for every flying saucer story that would follow in the next century. It was a collective dream, or perhaps a collective nightmare, etched onto the night sky of a country poised on the brink of a new technological century. A warning or a promise from the void. The next time you find yourself on a quiet country road, far from the city lights, look up. The sky is different now. We filled it with our own creations. But sometimes in the deep silence, you can almost hear the faint, phantom hum of a different kind of engine, and see the ghost of a brilliant light moving against the wind, carrying with it the echoes of a mystery that was never solved.